Hello everyone, my name is Alian and today we are with very precious guest that name is Diane Ojar. She experienced fast track outcomes with a 1.1 ratio, a customized strategic plan and unique approach in the now. So first of all, I am very thankful to you for giving me your precious time.
You're very welcome. It's my
Okay,
pleasure.
thank you. So Diane, can you please first of all introduce yourself?
Absolutely. And again, I want to thank your audience for joining you on this new venture. And congratulations on your show series. I don't call them podcasts, I call them shows. So, my name is Deanna Oja. I'm in Toronto, Canada. I am the owner, the president, and the CEO of Olive Media Network. I am an author of this book, this camera, Mrs. Ford and You Will Be the Victim of Victor When She Comes Knocking. I've been a contributor to several other books. This is one of them. The rest of them is somewhere around. And I'm also currently working on the Strategic Goal Seekers Handbook. I am a TV host, radio host, a solutionist. My background is NLP, hypnotherapy. So I'm a for designated in 48 countries as an NLP hypnotherapy and timeline therapy as well as I'm a Dow Hands practitioner and soon to be a Guanyin lineage holder um, level one, which I'm very proud of. So I have a bit of a different mixed background. My original background is in finance with one of the major banks. So let's start from there.
Great. So my first question is, can you tell us a little about yourself and your background in the field of fast track outcomes and strategic planning?
Thank you. Um, that is because the modalities or the experiences and the trainings I have, it's a little different to most people. And when we say one on one, I work with one on one, I work with groups as well. But the fastest track, if anyone should question that to understand that, is how do you get from point A to point B the fastest? And one of the techniques I use is timeline therapy, where we break through the barriers to give you the ultimate experiential breakthrough experience. And this is in real time. We work in the present time, we work on the past, on the holistic side, the spiritual side. Well, not exactly spiritual side, but the different modalities I do to help mold for the future. So we do a lot of goal setting, goal manifestation. And this is how this book came about. It's a combination of different things. We work with putting your goals into a timeline. So when we say strategic, one and one, the fast track, that is the fastest track. Within a couple of hours, you can get from point A to point B when you break through the barriers. However, you got to know what your barriers are. You got to know what your fear is. You got to know what's holding you back, your limiting decisions. And based on that, when we do an assessment, we will know how to work and customize a program for you.
Great. How does your approach differ from traditional strategic planning method?
It's a little bit different because I am not a therapist, I'm not a medical practitioner. Basically, what we do is we address what your concerns are or what you believe the problem is. Okay, what you believe the problem is not necessarily the problem. It goes way beyond that. So this is not to convince anyone, and this is not about religion at all whatsoever. But we address your past lives, what have happened, whether you believe in karma or deeds or whatever your faith is. That's nothing to do with any religion. It has to do with what you believe, what your faith in. Your beliefs is your beliefs. It should not be what was dictated to you from your parents or society. And this is what we've been brainwashed. So why is it different? We work with the you. The you are who you are today, to see what's going on, what are the blockages, and we all have to go through purification. We all have to deal with this, whatever is going on here. But once we figure that out, then we'll know what to do based on the trainings. And I would use whatever modality I have or access to anything in order to make you comfortable to get you where you need to be. The difference is, like I said, we do it in real time, and it can happen in one session, which could be over a couple of hours, because the way it's designed, we do an assessment, we do a specific procedure. So, it's a little different. But one thing I have to say, you have to be ready for it. It's one of these things that you have to be ready for change. And when enough is enough. When enough is enough is when people come to me. Hence the book. I know growing up for myself, having many businesses, business partners, and so forth, doing projects, and you'd be surprised what my name was. And this is not to impress anybody whatsoever, but what I've learned is that if you don't have written out goals, whether it be long-term, short-term, really and truly you're spinning your wheels. And that is not something we were taught growing up. It's not something we were taught in college and high school. We were not taught any of this. However, now we realize that, yes, it's always been saying, you got to do a vision board. Even vision boards, for example, a vision board should not be done until you have clearly outlined what it is, your why, who you are, what you want. And then we go through the process. And then and only then do you go and you put it on your vision board. So your vision board is yours. It's not the other person who has a resolution and say, I want this car, I want this. That is not the way this works. So it is a process. It is different if you're willing to follow the steps, if you're willing to follow the techniques, if you're willing to follow the blueprint, the plan, whatever you want to call it, but it's one for you. Although it's generic for everyone, but everyone has a different story. Why are you doing this? It's a school project, right? To take you further along the way. And I applaud you for that. However, what are your goals? What do you want to get out of this? When you messaged me last night, this morning, I was like, okay, first of all, I didn't know where this was coming from. However, you must have a goal, a written out goal as to what you want to get out of this. Not because it's a class project, but what do you want going? I know you're very young right now. And like I said, I recommend you because a lot of people are scared to even do this. So I would ask you, like we were chatting, what do you want out of this? What is your ultimate goal? What timeline do you have? Do you want to do 50 of these? What is your deadline? So everything you have to work with SMART, which is the acronym SMART, specific, measurable, accountable, attainable, realistic, and time. When do you want to do this? The strategic goals, right? So you need to know. A strategic just basically means you have a plan, you have an outline, and it's there's a sequence to it. There's task involved in a sense, right? It's SMART. So in a sense, and you can interpret it however you want. But the end of the day is, where do you want to go from today to, remember, maybe December 31st? What are your plans? So that's basically, in a nutshell, what it is we're talking about. How do you get from A to B? And it's not an easy road. It's not just flipping a switch. There is work to be done. Stuff is going to happen. Things are going to happen. You're going to have to clean up your fridge, clean up your closet, clean up your relationships. What does not serve you anymore, you got to get rid of it. I guess the $1 million question would be, you ask yourself every day, every time you do this, for example, if you ask yourself this, why am I doing this? Is this going to take me closer to my goal of achieving such and such? And that's a question you should ask everything. It's just like a need and a want. Does a need, this is a need or this is a want? So if you ask yourself a question for everything you do, everything you put in your body, Everything, right now I'm working on my health because, again, no matter what you do, it just seems. But I also know one of the things I do know as a Dow Hands practitioner and also the NLP side of it, and also the Guanyin, is the fact that what we're working on in us has a lot to do much deeper than we can even perceive or see. So it's not black and white. We need to purge, we need to purify, we need to change our habits, which is what I'm learning about food. Like you can eat whatever you want, and there's exceptions, of course, but I'm beginning to understand, because this is not something I was taught. It's what you eat and the sequence in how you eat it. Do I eat the salad first? Or do I eat the rice first? Well, the answer is the salad, because the vegetables line the body for the carbohydrates. So it's a lifestyle change. I'm not big about exercise, which is one of my weaknesses, which will help me faster. But also in doing this, it's helping me understand and change my stubbornness. Yes, I am. Change my ability to move forward in my life, to make the choices that's better for me, so I can sleep better, I can heal my body better. And it's a healthy body, healthy mind, healthy soul. And it's just to reverse. So this is what the plan is. And you have to write out the plan. And mind you, every part of your life, we have to write it out. They may overlap, they may one affects the other. It's a ripple effect, but we got to start somewhere. I hope that answers your question, or maybe more or less.
Great. Could you explain the concept of experience fast tracked outcomes in simple terms?
Like I mentioned before, and thank you. One of the things I do, I created a program called The Elephant in the Room, which is a little more softer version of the timeline therapy, among other modalities or techniques that I do. And I work, because of the NLP and everything else, there's a science behind everything on a quantum level, experiential. So when we work through our programs, you are experiencing the ultimate, yes. I call it the ultimate. Actually, first of all, the ultimate experiential breakthrough experience. I was like, blah, 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 blah. But it came to me. That's a whole nother conversation. It came to me and I was like, okay, this is something unique. It's on a huge experiential level because it's like on the quantum side. Okay. Because it's like fireworks. They're breakthrough. Every conversation you have from the time you start opening your mouth, they're breakthrough. And it's experience that you will never experience again. So when we talk about fast track, the fast track is the technique. It's not like sitting in, and I'm not here to condone anyone. I'm not, as a disclaimer, I'm just saying you do what you need to do. But if you find, because I have no people in my family and people I know have been going to therapists for years and years, or have this illness or so forth. And then we have a conversation and boom, you have to do your part. The universe will do their part, but you have to do your part. And within a couple of minutes, they have relief and release. So this is where we talk about fast track. There are ways of doing this very fast, but there are techniques that we have to do. But the most important thing, you have to be open and willing to do the work and just believe. That's basically what it is. So when you talk about fast track, again, like I mentioned, breaking through that wall, what is holding you back from making the changes? That's when we say fast track. You go from A to B. That could happen in a literal, depends on what it is we're doing. That can happen in a few minutes. It can happen in a few hours. That's how fast it is with the experiences. So I hope that's helping you understand the words, because I don't know if there's anything faster than that to help you break through whatever is going on in your life that's holding you back from being the best you can be. And that is what we're doing. On my side, obviously, as a facilitator, as the experiential coach, I'm a solutionist. So you tell me what your issue is, and I will work or whatever comes to me in the moment to help you. Maybe I have to clear your chakras, maybe first to make you feel more comfortable, and then we do the process or whatever comes to me. And that is what I will do to help you get to where you need to be. Because as far as we are concerned, and my job is to get you to the end result you want to get to at the fastest. But you got to do your part. You got to be open and you got to be present and focus.
Great. Why is having customized strategic plan important for individuals and business?
It is really important because if you don't know, as a business owner, and about 8 years ago, I would just follow my gut, just go with the flow. And I just said, okay, let's do a show. I had a show. I started because of the book. The book got me to where I need to be, as well as I decided one night, I would get. How should I put it? After writing the book, I would just get these ideas in my head, and it's all about energy. And it was like I'm being guided, and said, okay, let's write a book. Okay, let's create a TV show. Okay, so I messaged a friend, became my business partner, but we never sat down and we wrote a plan. We just did because of the love of it. Well, that survived for about 8 months for many reasons. It's a lot of work because we became a charity to the whole community. We were giving everybody everything without thinking about we had to pay bills and everything else. But I strongly believe that your past experience will lead you to your destiny, which is exactly what's happening now. So if you're a business owner, most companies, even for that stake of corporate, they have goals. They have they also, if they're public in particular, they have their stakeholders to report to. Well, the same thing. You have yourself to report to. You have the government you have to report to. You have to report to you and pay your bills on time and so. But you can only do that if you know what your outcome and your goal and your target is. What do you want to make 100,000 a year? Do you want to make $1 million a year? Well, how are you going to get to make it? Now, when we say let's say December 31st is year end for you. Well, have you reached? We already past the middle of the year. Have you even gotten far? Even half of that? Achieve half of that? If not, what do you need to do? What do you need to wrap up? So goals are meant to be revisited as much as possible to check and say, okay, so what you do is when you have a goal, you have the goal and then you break it down, and then you break it down into tasks, and then you can break it down into monthly tasks and weekly tasks and daily tasks. So you have to have a game plan, and you have to work with the team. The team could be you, but don't be, the bottle washer, the cook, the cleaner, the janitor. It really, I've done all of that. Okay, I've been there, I've done that. Sometimes I still do. But the point is, you need to delegate where you need to delegate because you need to free up time. You only got so much time on your hands. So if you continue to work the way you're doing, not smart enough, using the acronym or even the meaning of the word smart, you have to be intelligent about it. You have to make sure it is lined up to get you to where you need to be. In simple terms, is that you really got to know what you want. And if you don't know what you want and when you want it, really and truly, you're spinning your wheels. You're not going to get anywhere. You will get somewhere, but you're going to be tested. You will be tested that there's no tomorrow. The universe has a very funny sense of humor, and I'm not here to convince anyone about the universe, subconscious, unconscious, but that's a whole nother conversation. If you believe that some things happen just because, I would say think again. It just does not happen just because. There is a guidance, your gut, your subconscious, your soul, your spirit, whatever you want to call it. You have to have a balance in your family, your relationships, in your health, in your self development, in your spirituality journey. There has to be a balance in everything. Does that answer your question?
Can you share a success story of someone who benefited from your customized strategic planning approach?
There's so many of them. I have a girlfriend who she cheated her life, or dad cheated Chad about 7 times, 9 times. I can't remember now. Ever since she was 6 months old, her brain was all crushed. I have permission to tell the story. Her brain was all crushed. She fell over as a baby at 6 months. Somebody knocked her mom and she fell. And they had to rewire her brain, a skull. 6 months old. Is either she was going to be a vegetable, paraplegic, or a genius. And she's a genius. She's smart. However, then at the age of 14, she got an accident, and then she had cancer, and she had all these different things. And it's always seemed like she's on that close to death. But she could understand. And basically, we did a timeline therapy session. And it took, well, typically the sessions are designed to be 3 hours because of the assessment, the intake, and then, of course, the technique. But we ended up, I think it was about 6 or 7 hours because I know her. And she had to, every day, she's one of the most disciplined people I know. Every day she had to email me a daily report of what's going on. But the first thing I had said to her, you need to cut your hair, but I don't want to see you wearing black and white anymore. The next day she was disciplined. She went and cut her hair. And she's on the European side, and they have a way of dressing. I was like, no, this is not you, and start wearing color. And she did. And it changed her whole personality about so many things. And to tell you the transformation, something she said for over 40 years, 40 something years, she'd been looking for an answer. And in a couple hours, this was different. Now she is a healer. She is, she works for an organization. She does healing for people as well. She's very, very good at it. But there's sometimes we have to look outside the box. And I've worked with her on many occasions, so usually for different things. But it had to do with her. The success wasn't on my side. The success is with her because she was willing to do it. She was willing to listen, and she listens to anything I say. I have another girlfriend in because they all become good friends in Australia. She does not miss anything I do, any of the projects, the boot camps, anything. And she's 75. And she's going, and so I mentor her now. And she just keeps going like an energizer bunny. So there are many stories. Some are short term in terms of the relationships. As a Dao Hands practitioner, I have healing hands. I know that sounds a little, people may not understand that, but I can give people healing remotely that if you're having pain, open your heart, that happens in a few minutes. So the success stories, as we call it or label it, can be different techniques that we do. Depends on the situation, depends on the person who we're working with, what they believe their problem is or their issue is. Because technically speaking, what you see the problem is, I don't see the problem as that. Going forward, we have to go to the root cause. So everybody has a success story. It depends on how fast you want to get to where you need to be.
Great. So my last question is, what are some common challenges people face when trying to achieve their goals, and how does your approach address these challenges?
Thank you. One of the things I ask people, and it could be in an elevator, it could be just sitting there. I would just look at someone. I don't read people, but I look at someone and say, you just sense these things. Energy is huge, energy and vibration, right? And I would say, tell me what your greatest fear is. And it would take them by surprise. And then they start telling me the whole story. As well, what you believe is your greatest fear is not your greatest fear. It goes deeper than that. And sometimes we sit right there and I will help them through, which is a little more simpler version of the elephant in the room, right there and then. The fear of the challenge is it's all made up in their mind, to tell you the truth, to a certain degree. If somebody says something to you, you'll take it to heart. There is something called the law of Shinshijin, the universal law of the soul, heart, mind, and body. And just very quickly, the soul is the warehouse of information that comes to you with all this information from a child, from previous lives. If you believe it or not, it doesn't make a difference. Or whatever happened. That's what it carries, that information. And then it sends into the mind. Sorry, the heart. The heart process, because the heart is feely. Feelings, right? It's a feelings. And then based on the feelings is sent to the mind and say, I'm feeling sad today. So the mind will send out those, the cortisol and so forth to make you feel depressed and down. Or on the other side, it may say, I am feeling great today. And it will send out the oxytocin or the dopamine and give you the happy hormones in your body, because these are all chemicals in the body, right? So again, and then now when you have that, it converts into energy. So you start feeling it. And then when after the energy, it's your body. And if it's a good thing, your body will glow. Your body will feel good. Your skin will look good. Your routine. But if it's not, you will get health issues. You get health challenges. Listen to your body. Your brain is connected to your body and vice versa. Your brain is connected, but it comes through. And if you believe you don't have a subconscious or unconscious mind, hello, your brain is here. Your consciousness is here to confuse the life out of you. The amygdala, which is like two little almonds, this is one of the things here. The two almonds, the nut almond. This is something. Two of this on both sides of your brain here, together with the frontal cortex and so forth, and other parts of your brain can either give you the fight, flight, or freeze. And you have to know how to work with that. So you have to understand how your brain, listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to what it's saying to you. And by listening, you will have a better understanding of yourself. It's that plain and simple. You have to know what is you want. You have to know where you want to go. Having a business, it's not as simple as people think it is. You are your business and your business is you. But you have to come from an authentic place. And you have to know where you want to go, what you want to do. Define that, and I'm going to keep saying that to you. What is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? If your why is not strong enough to drag you out in the bed at night, or whatever in the morning, drag you to bed on time, or in the morning to wake up early enough to start your day, knowing what it is you want, then you have to think again. You have to make some changes. I don't believe in competition, but there's so much out there. We are information overload. And this is what it is. People will follow people they don't know. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because of a name, because they wrote a book. But I'm telling you, one of the things we're doing with the Strategic Goal Seekers Handbook, anybody who pre-orders the book, and I'll tell you very shortly about the book, they also have the opportunity until for limited time. They also get the opportunity for the same price, it's just $50 Canadian, they get the opportunity to be in a 4-hour boot camp to go through the exercises in the book. So the book has its content. We have three forewords, one from David Meltzer from Sports One Marketing, where the movie Jerry Maguire movie was made after the company that he was working for when he was a CEO. We have James Watkins, who was the last. He is the last of the original Drifter, the Motown group, and Francisco Quintero, who was Master Shah of the Dow Academy, leading Grandmaster teacher. Then we have about 20 something people who have been asked questions to write their experience from all walks of life, not only celebrities, not only CEOs, businesses, people who I know from all different areas of life. Plus, we have these exercises that you do. And of course, we have the content. And the book is designed as a handbook, a guide. And this is why I wanted to do the boot camp before the book gets into people's hands, not for them to wait. And I know they're going to read the book and not going to do anything. This way, I know when they're working on the boot camp is helping them. And I've had phenomenal feedback from it that people were very, very intrigued by it, made some changes. It's something I know I had to do, and this book project, really and truly came into my lap, and it was given to me for a purpose. So I strongly believe that as well. And to pick up your pre-order, just go to strategic goal seekershandbook.com and you can put a pre-order. There's an order form there. And again, like I said, for a limited time, if you do pre-order it, you will also get the opportunity to be in the boot camp, which I believe will make a difference. And that's a strategic goal right there in terms of how I can get you on a fast track without having to wait, because we have so many books we don't do. Believe me, I have books that you'll be surprised how powerful they are, but it's just to get to the end to read it. So I picked a part of it out, which is the exercises to do.
Amazing. Once again, I am very thankful to you to giving me your precious time. I hope everyone learning something new with you.
Thank you. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
that. And if anybody wants to know more, certainly you can reach out to me. It's info at theexperientialcoach.com. And I do encourage you to get that book, to pre-order it until it's on the market. We're still in the process. And I'm taking my time with it for a reason, because this is one project I'm not rushing. When we rush things, it's a different story. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has made a contribution, because this is going to change your life, your school, your colleagues, your friends, your families. And I'm hoping that I would see you in the boot camp to help take you to where you want to go. And I applaud you for this age for doing this, because this is not something we did when we were growing up. So you're way ahead of a lot of people. I truly appreciate that, and I'm so proud of you. And thank you for reaching out to me. I'm not sure how you found me, but thank you for reaching out for me. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much.